Any last words, Mr. President?
Yes, Jack. Any superlative words of inspiration for our humble troops?
Do not pray for easy lives, my friends. Pray to be stronger men.
Welcome to the series on my channel where I analyze every single zombies map all the way up until Cold War. For today's episode we have 5. The second map is out of Black Ops 1. This map is very notorious and infamous for how difficult it is. And in fact, it's hated by a lot of people. Is all that hate warranted? Well, let's find out. In today's episode we will be covering 5. And the good things about it, the bad things about it, what it introduced, and of course my opinion, whether I think the map is good or bad. So without any further ado, let's get right into it. So as usually, these sections always start with the lore. The lore this time is pretty substantial, but at the same time it's not. At least it's very unique. So pretty much the gist of it is John Kennedy, Richard Nixon, Robert McNamara, and Fidel Castro are all gathered at a board meeting discussing how to deal with the looming threat of Samantha Max. However, not only just Samantha Max, but of course just real life shit as well. Eventually a zombie breaks in, and then they need to fend off the approaching horde. Now canonically it's where it gets a little shaky. I believe Robert McNamara is the only one who actually survives this. The rest are unfortunately killed by the zombies. However, this leads to a lot of interesting lore down the line when Ultimus is sent here and then they interact with Robert McNamara. A lot of the lore isn't very clear at this point in the timeline, but it's still extremely exciting stuff. The lore, of course, is just always really good, and in fact, it's enhanced by the fact that there's an opening cutscene this time. This is the first map in Zombies history, other than Twin Kino der Toten, to have an opening cutscene, and oh my goodness, this is amazing. We have John Kennedy, Richard Nixon, Fidel, and we have Robert McNamara, of course, just discussing everything, and it's just a really awesome spectacle. The only problem I have with it is the fact that it's in black and white. I never really understood that, and I feel like the cutscene would be a lot better if it was in color. But regardless, it's still an awesome cutscene, which leads us into our next point about the aesthetic of this map. This map is matched by pretty much no map in terms of its aesthetic. The way it looks, the fact that you're in the Pentagon, like how clean everything is. Normally there's blood and fire around a lot of maps. However, 5 is a huge exception to that case. This map is clean, it's organized, it's orderly. It's actually really weird that there's zombies here. Like, it's really jarring, and you probably, if you saw an image of this map without a zombie there, you wouldn't think this would be a zombies map. Of course it's ripped from the campaign, but it still doesn't change the fact that it's a very unique area for a zombies map. That I wish more maps in the future that reuse assets from other modes took advantage of, being it's super unique. Also, this map introduces quite a few things actually, and of course, you know, they're all in my personal pro section of this map. One of those being the Death Machine power-up. The Death Machine power-up is an exclusive power-up that I believe you only can get after getting Quick Revive. Whenever you kill a zombie, they have a chance to drop a blue power-up this time. This is known as the Death Machine. The Death Machine unfortunately doesn't have infinite damage, but early on this is a great way to get a lot of kills, especially on 5 where you usually struggle for ammo since there's a lack of a really reliable wall weapon other than maybe the MP5. The Death Machine can absolutely just shred through zombies, and including the new mini-boss on this map, the Pentagon Thief, being able to snag yourself a super awesome reward early on if you're lucky enough to get one at the end of a round. The Death Machine, of course, as I said, it does not have infinite damage. It drops off after a certain period, which definitely hinders its uses a bit, but for what it is, it's a really nice and welcome power-up that you don't even need to pick up if you don't want it. Definitely a problem with it is you can't switch out of the Death Machine or interact with anything when you have it, so if you have a down teammate and you have the Death Machine out, you can't revive them. This is fixed in Black Ops 3, but we're not at Black Ops 3, so we're not going to talk about that right now. Regardless, it's still a welcome power-up. Along with the Death Machine, there's also a new power-up called the Bonfire Sail, which is the rarest power-up, probably in Zombies minus the perk bottle. You can only get the Bonfire Sail by killing the new mini-boss zombie before he touches you. Wow, that sounded bad out of context. Point is, if you can kill this guy before he gets up to you and steals your gun, you actually get a power-up called the Bonfire Sail, which allows the teleporter to set it automatically DEFCON 5, and you go to Pack-a-Punch, and Pack-a-Punch, not only do you get there without having to switch all the levers, but it's also 1,000 points, which is absolutely insane. You can get your entire arsenal upgraded by like round 6 with this, because the Pentagon Thief can spawn in on round 6, and chances are you might have 2,000 points to spare by that time, leading yourself to have a very easy game. Speaking of welcome new features, the Pentagon Thief. The Pentagon Thief is the mini-boss of this map as discussed. He comes out of a teleporter on round 6, 7, or 8 the first time, then he's like a dog round or max ammo round every subsequent time after that. He starts out slow, and he starts slowly making his way towards you as a really creepy blue fog just like completely covers the room. It's really creepy actually, but eventually if you shoot him, he'll start sprinting towards you, which is actually kind of terrifying. And then when he touches you, he takes your gun. And as soon as that happens, you actually get sent to the bottom floor, where your character will like look at their hand like, what the hell just happened, before it's starting to chase him down. Now it's your job to actually kill him before he makes away with your gun, because if he gets to the central teleporter near power, he's going to take your gun and you won't be able to get it back. However, if he manages to take your gun, you still get a max ammo, thankfully. But holy crap, make sure you switch to your Colt or some gun you don't want before he comes up and steals, because if he steals your good gun, you're going to be in trouble, man. This guy is really good because his health, I believe, caps, so eventually becomes really easy to kill, so you don't need to worry about losing your gun. But this guy is a welcome addition that I wish Classified kept. I don't really see too much hate about this guy. This guy is just awesome. He's way better than the dogs in my opinion, because he's actually a challenge, he's cool, and he rewards you greatly, more than just a max ammo. And if you kill him without him taking your gun, but you kill him before he takes your gun completely, you actually get a fire sale, which in some cases is actually better than getting a bonfire sale, because if you're trying to get the new wonder weapon, spoiler alert, or the ray gun, or just a different gun in general, you want him to take your gun, you kill him instantly, and then you get a free fire sale. It's amazing, because you don't even need to move the box to get it. It's just absolutely amazing, and a super welcome addition to this map. In conjunction, the Pentagon Thief actually like correlates in well with the difficulty of this map, which is another good thing about this map I want to talk about. The difficulty. Holy mackerel, this is probably one of the hardest maps in Zombies history, for the simple fact that it has no space on it, it has no great wonder weapons, it doesn't have very much in terms of like just training area, there's no real good camping spots minus like the elevator, no good wall weapon, Pack-a-Punch being kind of clunky to get to, and then when you open the doors to Pack-a-Punch, like you just get swarmed by zombies. It's just a really difficult map because of the fact, of course, there's no infinite damage gun, minus the electric trap, which is very risky to use on its own. It's just, this map is unbelievably brutal in terms of its difficulty in high round, and making it past round 20 on this map is an accomplishment, I would say, easily. The war room is definitely the best place to train, but even then there's like computers and chairs in the way, and there's that giant staircase, which is really weird because zombies can go up and down it. And then you have the barricades in there that you need to remove or keep up depending on your strategy. It's a very interesting and polarizing map that's extremely unique, not in just its design, but just in the fact the way it's structured with the training area having debris in it that you can keep up if you want to do a certain strategy. It's a very unique take, and I really enjoy the difficulty of this map. That's why it's hated so much, but like I was saying with Kino, this map needs to be difficult. If Kino and 5 were complete jokes, that'd be fine. You can hop on zombies to have fun, but eventually you're going to grow stale, and you're never really going to get better at the game. After you master Kino, you can head over to 5 to test your skills to get even better. You can do some really tight trains with a Colt down in the war room. You can't do anything like that on Kino, there's just too much space. This map strangling you from having a infinite damage wonder weapon allows you to cherry pick the best guns from the box, the best guns that'll get you the farthest. This will allow you to make your own strategies and calculations on what the best loadout is. You have mule kicks, so you can do a lot of experimenting. You have the bonfire sale, so it's not super hard to pack up on. This map is great for experimentation, just getting better at the game in general. It has so much unique to it, and the bonfire sale is only on this map. This map has so much exclusive to it, including its characters. I didn't even cover how cool the characters were, and how this is the only map they're on, but they're one of the coolest crews we have. I mean, we don't have a ton of crews, but these guys are amazing, they're memorable. John F. Kennedy has like the best quotes ever. Characters, the difficulty, everything about this map just screams unique, and it's all great in my opinion. And the last pro I have about this map is the Winter's Howl. The Winter's Howl is actually one of my favorite parts about this map. I know it's terrible and everything, but I like looking at it like the fact that at least we got something, you know? The Winter's Howl is great for killing the Pentagon Thief, I know. Like, even like on higher rounds, it still can, if you unload an entire clip into him and then reload really fast and do another, kills him no matter what, which is really nice. And on early rounds, the Winter's Howl is a really great safety gun, and makes it so you don't die because you can just spam the trigger and freeze all the zombies. It's a good weapon. Like, it sucks for practicality, but in terms of early game, it's really good, but of course it's RNG if you get it or not. It's still a really fun weapon to use, and it's very unique, and it's only on this map in Varuk for some reason. It's not even on Call of the Dead, which you'd think it'd be on, but regardless, it's a very unique gun, and while that sucks, I'm glad it's here. I wouldn't want 5 without it, you know what I mean? Oh my, that was a lot of good things to cover. I guess we could just talk about the cons now. the bad things about this map. Of course, we have the no infinite damage weapon problem. This is definitely a problem because you can't get to specific rounds. You just run out of, your guns just don't do damage anymore. There's nothing you can do other than use the electric trap, which this technically is the first buildable, so I guess that's a pro as well. But like, it's still really risky, but it does get you better at the game, so it's like a double-edged sword because you got to train very specifically. It's a really gray area for me, and it definitely is more of a problem than it is a good thing to not have an infinite damage gun. But it, like I said, it does help you get better, so there is that at least. Of course, the Nova Crawlers. For God's sake, these guys suck. They suck on here too. They're terrible. They're terrible like they are in Kino, and they're even worse here because how much harder this map is. They never even made Kino hard. They just made it annoying. It's the same thing here. This map, it just spams them, it feels like, if you're in the laboratory, which I would like to comment is just, holy fuck. You go from the, like, cleanest area up top of the Pentagon, where you have the desk, the chairs, the offices, then the war room, which is very futuristic. We had a bunch of computers and stuff, but then you have the elevator, which takes you down, and then you go to the laboratory, and there's blood everywhere. There's a bunch of inhumane tests. There's like a pig. There's a bunch of box locations. It's just like, you go downstairs and you're like, what the hell happened here? Am I even playing the same map? It creates some serious whiplash and makes it really unsettling. And ironically, it makes it kind of horrifying, and it makes it a really scary experience. Because if you're not expecting this, you're going to get scared. Gosh, what the hell happened down here? This map's like design is really cool, and I definitely really like it, but I don't like the Nova Crawlers. They're terrible additions. Thankfully, they only spawn on the bottom floor. Goodness gracious, they suck here too. And of course, my last problem is no Easter egg. Now, this is definitely, biased, and I'm an Easter egg guy, but like, there's no Easter egg, which hurts the map immensely in my opinion. Like, I want an Easter egg on my maps, man. Is that a problem? I want an Easter egg cutscene. I get it's not here yet, but we do have the intro, so that helps. But like, I want an Easter egg cutscene, then I want like actual like a quest to do, because when I hop on zombies, I like doing the Easter egg every single time, and there's no objective, you know, which definitely hurts it in my opinion. Because remember, this entire video was my opinion on the map, and I gotta tell you what I don't like about it, and that is, of course, there's no Easter egg. I just definitely think that hurts it a lot. Hurts all these maps. It hurts Doris too, because like Doris has one, but you can hardly count as an Easter egg. You can finish in 10 seconds. Regardless, I get it's early in zombies, so I can let it slide, but it definitely is still something that bugs me a little bit. Arguably, it's more of a nitpick at this point, but it's still something that I figured I'd mention, because I don't want to make it seem like I'm blindly fanboying a map when I'm really not. When I want to give my honest opinions, I just see a lot of good in these maps and not really too much bad at this point, at least. So that brings us to the end of the video, everybody. My opinions on 5 are, I think it's perfectly fine. I think it's a really fun, challenging map. If you want to get better at zombies, playing 5 on Black Ops 1, Black Ops 1 being the hardest zombies, like, this is the best way to get better at the game. Like, doing good on 5 and Shangri-La is a great way to get better, and I like this map for that, and just how special and unique it is. Like the layout, the area, the characters, power-up, boss, the difficulty, the wonder weapon. Everything is so unique. Black Ops 1 would not be the same without this map. It's a fantastic map. It's not the best map. It's not like my highest tier, but it's definitely up there with one of my favorite maps in this game.